Hi, my name's Seth, and welcome to my 12th house series. So, I'm going to be taking this time to talk about a specific sign in the 12th house. If you don't really understand what the 12th house is, if you don't understand a lot about that sign, if you don't actually know what sign is in your 12th house, I put a few links right up here to give you guys some references on where to look and where to find this information. Then come back to the series and look at specifically what's going on in your 12th house and engage with me on what that means to you and what that means for what you're trying to do in this world. Hey everybody. Today I want to talk about having Pisces in the 12th house. If you're watching this and you have Pisces in your 12th house, then you 9 times out of 10 have an Aries Ascendant. With an Aries Ascendant, there is sort of a funnel, I guess, or like a tube-like fixture on the front of you between you and other people, your inner world and the outside world. From the inside, you look out and you kind of have a very fixed sight. You have a very, like, there's a tunnel around everything. Things that are not a part of what you're looking at kind of seep into the background. They're not as important as what you're focused on. And from the outside looking in, it's very hard for people to think of you other than whatever it is they just thought of when they saw you. Whatever impression you just made is what they're going to think of you. And it's going to be kind of hard for them to vary off and see the other parts of you outside of this funnel that kind of constructs who they think you are. So it can be a little rough having an Aries ascendant. It can be a little rough having Aries in any of the four places, the first house, fourth house, seventh house, or 10th house. I have it in the 10th house, so like I know how that goes when people kind of like try to pigeonhole you. But it's a peculiar place to have Aries, to have it in the spot it's was made to be in. I have a very, 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 very close friend of mine who has an Aries ascendant. She's actually an Aries ascendant with a Sag sun and a Cancer moon, so that's fun. Like pretty much everything is in the right places for her. Like everything kind of sits in the house that it was meant to be in, and just her whole house just kind of like her whole chart just kind of aligns peculiarly. And Aries ascendants have a lot to teach you. They have a lot to teach you about what it means to be a person and what it means to be human. And the biggest thing I can say about them is that they're authentic. Does not mean they're real. It does not mean that they're not liars. It does not mean that they're not tricksters. It does not mean that they're not stupid, smart, or ridiculously insecure. It just means that they're authentic. No matter what it is that you're getting from them, whatever, no matter what it is that you make up your mind about them, about who they are, it's going to be a part of them that's really there. They're never going to go out there and try to pretend to be something else. They might try to pretend, but they're going to fail and just end up being themselves. So you would just always get this very authentic person, and they will always have a lot of people who love to be around them, having Aquarius in the 11th house, that love to be around them because they are authentic. They are being themselves, even when they're being their stupid selves or their insecure selves or their mean selves. They are being them. They're never not being them. So with that, you have Pisces in the 12th house, of course. So usually early in life, they were picked on. And it might be picked on from people like at school or people in outside life, but most likely it was inner. It was siblings. It was something going on within the family where they were kind of forced into this ascendant. Like your ascendant, people treat you a certain way because they know you can handle it. If you were a very sensitive person on the outside, then maybe someone would, think twice before saying something like that to you. But like I said in my last video, your ascendant is not something you personally see, especially early on. It's what everybody else sees before you figure it out. And for an Aries ascendant, that's being strong, that's being bright, that's being vivacious, that's being like pig-headed. It's that whole Aries bundle that you get. And when people see that, they're not recognizing the rest. They're not seeing that you're sensitive. They're not seeing that your feelings get hurt easily. They're not seeing that there's more to you than your ascendant just yet. So they automatically assume that you can take whatever it is I'm about to dish you. Just a number of any of those things most likely happened when you were younger, most likely happened within your family, and really made you feel like you need to hide your sensitivity. You need to hide your Piscean energy. You need to hide that fact that you're vulnerable and fluid and calm and easygoing and extremely empathetic and psychic. Those things you might consider to be weaknesses or an idea of unintelligence when somebody leans on things like that. Or you could look up to it and feel that it's something that you could never reach. It's something to aspire for, but you feel like you're not built for that. You don't know how to reach that side of yourself. So your fears would be not being able to reach that side, not being able to be spiritual. Maybe you're influenced by religion, but you feel like you're not fitting in with those religious people. Or your fears could be that people are going to see you as a hippie or as a religious type or someone who's too spiritual, and they won't respect you and they won't give you the credit that you know is due for you. Or you feel like these things will get in the way of what your focuses are. And instead of using them to enhance your focuses, to enhance your goals, and to dip into what your dreams really are, what you really want in life. When you're comfortable, when you're by yourself, when you're with people that you really trust and that you're comfortable with, this side of you comes out. And you might be the type of person that can sit with friends and really talk about spirituality. You might be really attracted to people that can talk about spirituality, that can bring that side of you out. When you're by yourself, you can explore it within yourself. What are your spiritual limits? What do I think of myself? What is humanity? What is culture? What are all these things? You can experience them and kind of float through all these ideas. When you feel comfortable or really engage with someone else and get to know their perspective and really understand their perspective, really understand where they're coming from, and you know people, you can really know people. You create a family. You can make a network of real family, of real love outside of bloodlines. When people get so close that you feel comfortable enough to let this energy out, you might as well become one. When you are by yourself, it might be really good, or when you're with someone who's spiritual as well, that you're comfortable with, to meditate, to open yourself up to energies that are around you. And to do it safely. Because for all of this energy to be in the 12th house, once you unlock that door, it's going to be a flood. And you're going to be expected to swim. But you have an Aries Ascendant. You can handle it. You can handle anything. But you just have to know what you're getting yourself into when you decide to handle your 12th house. To really let go of control and survive in that 12th house. And with an Aries Ascendant, you can. With Virgo in your 6th house, you're the type of person that does their work well, can stay on task, and likes to schedule. The problem can be that you lack the real drive to continue doing that work over and over and over again. To continue to do things without digging yourself into those details and getting lost within your work and feeling overwhelmed and really getting yourself under a pile of responsibility before you're really ready to commit to anything. With Libra on your 7th, Aries in your 1st, there's a thing about commitment. You can commit to things, but as a person, you need a little bit of freedom to have choices, to doubt yourself here and to go for something there, and then change your mind, change your alliances, change things. There's a great need for change in who you are and where your life is headed. With that Virgo in the 6th house, Virgo wants to commit. commit to a schedule, commit to this work, commit to being of service. But you need to be willing to work with that Virgo energy and change your commitments and find what works for you. Again, this ascendant gives you a very neat alignment throughout your chart. So you understand that you need to adventure sometimes when it comes to work, when it comes to your philosophy, when it comes to your life. Your philosophy is important with Sagittarius in your 9th house. The way you feel about your work and the people that you work with is important with Libra in your 7th house. Being able to express yourself at work is important with Leo in your 5th house. There are very clear-cut things that you need in your life, and they make themselves extremely tangible in your life. Without that Pisces energy to help balance things out, you will never understand what works for you, what you need to stay whole. Because with a chart as neatly set up as this, houses in particular, having Pisces not there, that Virgo is going to always throw you into things that are not always set for you, that are not always set for emotional wholeness, outside of responsibility and tangible wholeness. You need spirituality. You need to bring it into your life to make this circle, this wheel, your chart complete. You need to bring a lesson into your life. You need to find an end point. You have the Sagittarius in the 9th house aiming at something. It's aiming at your 12th. You have Scorpio in your 8th letting you know that there's something coming. There's a reason why I need to focus on building up money and taking care of the people around me and making sure there's emotional value in my life. But how are you ever going to find that emotional value if you're not giving Pisces the chance, if you're not giving your 12th house the chance to enrich your life? When it comes to people at work, they see this. They see you as somebody practical, they see you as somebody witty, they see you as somebody focused. And then they kind of, again, that ascendant's going to come into play, and they're going to be like, wow, and she's really authentic. She's real. He or she is real. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm talking to my friend. They might eventually lose that perception. Because as you guys grow closer, as you work there longer, as you become more comfortable, and it starts to become hard to separate your work from your life, your work from your spirituality, your personal ideals, and your work ideals, it's going to be harder to separate them because you don't know the difference. You're not comfortable with that 12th house. You don't understand that side of yourself yet. So how do you know when your personal issues are being poured into work? How do you know when your spirituality is actually in the way or not in the way enough of what you do when it comes to your work? When it comes to your responsibilities? Other people will see them. Other people will point out your flaws, and you really won't like that, and it will really hurt. When you're drunk, which most likely is not often, Pisces is one of those signs in the 12th house where you are much better off with marijuana. You're much better off just smoke some pot instead of actually going out there and drinking. But when you do get drunk, you're at the bay of whoever you're surrounded by. You might actually end up being a party snob. Not so much like, oh, I don't want to go to a party where there's drinking. I don't want to go to a party where there's drugs. You're going to experiment with drugs. 9 times out of 10, you're going to experiment. You're going to be one of those people you've tried maybe everything once. But you know, when you step into a party, when you step into a room, that it needs to be the right tone. You're going to know when you're comfortable making yourself vulnerable with any type of influence, alcohol or drug, or any type of anything. You're going to know when you feel comfortable enough around these people to do that, to get drunk around them. But when you actually are there and you're partying, you're getting drunk, you're chill as fuck. You're down for whatever. If people want to dance, you'll go and dance. If people want to chill and talk, you'll chill and talk. If people want to go sit outside and smoke a cigarette, you'll go out there and you'll smoke a cigarette because you're with them. You might end up just, becoming whatever it is that's going on around you. And you'll become popular that way. People will love to invite you to parties because you're down with everything. You're chill with everyone. You fit in anywhere. The whole idea of not fitting in affects you in your life. Virgo wants to be of use. Not understanding Pisces means that fitting in is being of use. Who do you fit in with, and who you are as a person with an Aries Ascendant and Aquarius in your 11th house means that you're going to be switching up communities trying to decide who you are. And not understanding your 12th house means that you're just going, I'm going to be like this person. Oh, wait, no, I'm going to be like that person. Oh, wait, no, I want to be like this person. When you're drunk, you do that fluently. It's not a struggle. It's not self-doubt. It's just who you are. You have a way of adapting. But that balance between adaptation and staying authentic seems easier. It seems like it's just who you are. I'm not trying to be someone else. I don't feel like I need to be like this person. I just like doing what they're doing. And you're too drunk to really fucking care about their ideals and anything like that. Those things don't matter to you. You're just around these people, and no matter their ideals, you just love their energy. You can do that in your sober life, in real life. You can hang out with people and go from community to community and keep these friends and not have to leave anyone behind. Even though that Aries Ascendant, you will leave people behind. But you can go person to person, group to group, community to community, and feel like you're in love with everyone there, and that you're not changing yourself or trying to align yourself with these people. You're just trying to find people who are like you and then bring them with you to the next community. And create a following and create your own community. You're trailblazing. And when you look back when you're old, you've created so much that can sustain itself. Because with that Capricorn midheaven, you just create systems. You're going to be known for creating systems, and those systems will survive. They will sustain themselves. Those things will just work forever, if you're a part of them or not. But if you're doing this built off of fear of being vulnerable, if you're doing this built off of trying to find who you are in other people, by becoming these people that you might idealize sometimes, it's not going to work. You're not going to be creating a system. You're going to be recreating a system. That 12th house, you kind of can't ignore it. You don't have the placement where it's like, well, your 12th house is kind of trapped. It's not trapped. You have Pisces there. Pisces cannot be trapped. But it's going to influence you either negatively or positively. But it's up to you to decide which way that is. And letting it into your life and understanding what this energy means that you can make a informed decision on that. Pisces is true freedom. Sagittarius understands that. They have that Jupiter connection. But reality of a situation is freedom. Knowledge of a situation becomes reality. But Pisces is true freedom. And at some point in your life, you will understand that. But just give yourself the chance to do that. Make sure you understand it the way you want to. Make sure these things open up for you in a positive way. By embracing who you are. And making that Aries Ascendant count. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment if you have something to say about this. Shoot me an email, and if you have this placement, and we can talk about that and see what's going on with you. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.